Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Back on a beautiful Wednesday morning. I know it's not Monday. I literally spent probably 6 hours of my day Monday on the telephone. So many questions. Appreciate all the comments and you guys calling me, wanting to talk to me about all these basement areas and everything else. I appreciate everybody calling. I enjoy talking to you. I'm trying to figure out some of these problems. But yeah, it's Wednesday now. It's just been crazy here. It's been hot. Of course, the air conditioners are just booming right now. And we really, a lot of the stuff we've been working on here in the last 2 days, a lot of it has just been normal stuff that I've been kind of showing you guys. But I do have some stuff going on this morning. We'll go around. I want to show you a few things we're working on, and you can kind of see. Had one that's kind of interesting. We do have another river ranch coming through here this morning. I'll take you down there and show you on that. This big race car trailer right here, we just had to put new backing plates and redo the bearings and stuff like that. This little FR3 back here, let's go over here and take a look at this. I want to show you something on it. So cousin Gary's been in here working on this FR3, and this FR3 has actually got a Norcold 2118 cooling unit in it. And so the customer wanted to upgrade to the Amish 110 volt. Cousin Gary. So one thing I want to kind of show you guys, which is kind of interesting, I've not seen this before. Of course, 2118 is not one we do a tremendous amount of, but as you can see, this unit actually has two compressors, one for the refrigerator, one for the freezer. And then what I thought was kind of neat, and I hadn't seen this before, JC Refrigeration has actually, there's a controller that controls all this, and they, of course, nice 3D printed box for mounting all that stuff in. Some of the other wiring, that's a 3D printed box right there. So yeah, kind of interesting. I've not done a 2118 before like that. So yeah, it's kind of neat to see how they're doing that. So I wanted to kind of show you that. Let me take you around here and we'll show you a few more things. We're just waiting on this river ranch to show up, and then I'll take you and look at that. So yeah, that's kind of a neat one. I see a bunch of 2118s. I really haven't seen enough of them to put units in them yet, but that's kind of a neat option, doing 110 volts. So at least gives them the ability to have more of a residential style refrigerator. Now, one thing I did work on the last couple days, I did get the boys' break room all framed in, and it's nice and cool in there now, so they got a place to do their paperwork, which is kind of nice and cool because it's been terribly hot. This Avenger right here, let me take you in here and show you what's going on with this, because we actually had an issue with the floor in the bathroom. So let's go in here and take a quick look at this. Okay, so this Avenger came in, it had a soft floor, so the customer needed a low cost solution, so we just basically went in there and fixed all that. Did have to put a new toilet in it because it had a problem, but got all that fixed, got it all put back together. That one's ready to go out. All right, so we got this Tahoe right here that had some, had to do a seal tech on. It had some D-lam showing up. It's not a very old camper, but you know, you guys, we talk about this. You know, this stuff leaks, so seal tech on that, got that under control, got that done. In the other videos, this big Camelot, remember we talked about that awning right there. We do, now that we've resolved all of the electrical problems, which this customer bought this thing from Lazy Days, and I can understand now why whoever owned this originally sold this camper. It had so many electrical problems that this is why they got rid of this. It actually had no 110 on the driver's side whatsoever. So come to find out, there was a wire nut in a junction box up underneath this slide that feeds everything in there, and that wire nut had burned up, and it was very difficult to find. It was in a place that was hid. We just had to do a bunch of backtracking. Finally got that resolved. Now we have 110 volts on this whole side along to that awning. One thing we did find out too, and another reason why I'm telling you, they traded this thing in because of all the problems it had. This front bedroom slide right here, there's a rod that runs in and out. It's probably about that big around, and it's got all the wiring for the slide that run in there. Now you can see that slide's got refrigerator, it's got lights, it's got all kinds of stuff in there. Well, when that thing runs in and out, the wiring for all that's inside that tube, so it's protected. Well, somebody has had that slide out at some point, and when they had that slide out, they pulled all the wires loose. Well, because they had to cut them to get the slide out. Well, when they put all that back together, they used Wago connectors for all the wiring in the slide. The problem is, that's fine, I use Wago too. The problem is, when that tube's moving, it was actually ripping the wires out of the wires out of the Wagos. The Wagos were catching that tube and ripping them out of there. So we had no power or lights in that slide either. So I understand this why somebody sold this, because there was just too much they could figure out to fix. We've got all that straightened out. We actually went back and butt connected everything, taped it, put wire loom on it to keep it from doing that again. But we've got all that under control. I mean, we've got several hours invested in that camper just because the electrical is it was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. So we got that under control. We do have we did get with the customer yesterday on the Carefree controller. Now the controller that Carefree sells does not work with that one anymore. So we have to upgrade the whole system, which means new touchpad, new controller, everything's got to be redone. So I've got to get that ordered and get that in there. But yeah, it's sometimes when guys buy these used campers, I mean, it really comes down to a crime scene investigation of what was really the problem. And obviously somebody sold that camper or traded that camper in because there was more wrong with it than they thought they could ever get fixed. Hey, I fixed it. It took a little bit of time and it was a pain. And I know the customer and I have had some long conversations about the price of it. Just what it is sometimes when you try to go to figure some of this electrical out. It's a nightmare, as you guys know. All right, Jen just called me on the radio. The new River Ranch is here. So you can see on my side-by-side, I've got everything there I need to do that. So I'm gonna take Lewis, we're gonna go down there. Come on, we'll go check that out. Okay, so this one just came in. We just talked about it a minute ago. 2021 River Ranch. Got Lewis back here doing the basement air. Pulling all the panels off. We're going to show you, we've shown you in other videos how we're going to do this, but let's take a look at this one. This was just a tad different. I mean, it's the same, but there's one little item in there that I saw that was a little different. I'm going to show you that now. All right, so Lewis is over here pulling the outdoor cover off, but you know, all the other ones that I've shown you guys, we don't have this hose reel in here. Now, obviously there's an issue up here, so we've got to pull this down. So this will all need to come out of there. Of course, we're going to pull this panel. Lewis is getting this off now. Remember, that metal vent down there is wrong, so we're going to change that, and I'll show you again how we do that. But we got to pull all this paneling off and get into that. So we're going to get that done, and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so Lewis has got this pulled apart now, and you can see we've got to do some issues. There's some issues there. We got the foam right there, and remember in the last video we wrapped all that with that. Now, this is one thing I didn't really touch on much in the last video, is this grate right here. Now this grate was installed by Forest River, and it was actually right underneath. You can kind of see where it was originally right there. In the bottom of this air unit, there's actually a screen and underneath that. And so what we found out was that this actually causes a little bit of turbulence in the discharge of the hot air. So we've got to pull that out, get that out of there. But we're going to go in here now. You can see the other parts we got right there. We're going to start taping everything up. Part of the issue is, remember this on one of the original ones, see, this is all bleeding air. So we've got to get all that taped up and sealed up, and then everything along here, and of course the foam back in there. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so we've come in here now, and we've got all of our tape across here, and you saw how bad that was when we started. We've got the new foam, got everything taped across there, got it all taped there. Mr. Lewis has been back here now working on this, and you can see not only do we got this tape, but we got all this tape. I mean, all this stuff, all these little spots are pulling air from around, upstairs. I mean, we want to get that air coming through this vent. So we've got to tape all this stuff up. We got to go across here. You can actually see we're taping across that. I mean, all this has got to be taped. I've even gone to the point where I've taped this up. Now, obviously, nothing right here because I have it taped on the other side. But I've got the seams where the welds were at. The two pieces of metal were put together. They will suck air too. So all this has got to be taped up and done right. And then we're going to put this cover on, tape everything from inside here before we put this cover on. But we do have to verify for the recall that this, which will be right up in here, does not have an issue. So Lewis is going to do that. He's going to put the cover on, tape all this from this side, and then we're going to fire it up, and then we'll test all of our amp draws. Now this coil was a little bit dirty, so while I got it in here, I'm going to go ahead and clean all that and get that cleaned out, and then we're just going to test it and see what we got for temperatures. We'll put the outdoor cover, or put the cover on the inside, and then check all of our temperatures. All right, so we've got this all finished up. Of course, I taped across there and then down across there just to make sure there was nothing going on. Now, I did add a couple screws, one there and two down here, because I didn't like the pushing. It was moving a little bit right there, but this stuff's got some felt on the back of it, so it should seal off good. Let's go inside and we'll look at the temperatures inside. Okay, so we're here in this river ranch, and you can see the temperature there is 79 degrees. Now, when we started, it was about, what did we say it was? 85 degrees. Let's go back here. I've got this thermostat in this vent back here in the bedroom. You can see it down on the floor here. And right now on this furthest vent, let's see what we got. It looks like to me about 40. Hard to see. It looks like on the camera. It's hard to see on the camera. I'm at 48 degrees. So that is really pushing some cold air in here now. Now you can see this gentleman, because of the problems he was having, he had these window units in here. He had one here, and he actually had one back here, and he's double checking me right now with his digital. Now, normally, again, we always check on the furthest one, but we're just kind of checking each other with his digital. And how much you got? You showing about 56 right there? Yeah. So, yeah, I think we've got the problem solved on this river ranch, so it's doing great now. All right, so he's got everything back in this. And, yeah, you can see it kind of tells us the temperature right there. So I like that. It kind of operates a little differently than what I've seen. But, yeah, it's got those compressors in there. That thing is cranking. I think Gary was telling me he had like 30 degrees in the refrigerator and -5 in the freezer. So, and that was within about an hour. So yeah, those things work good. All right, so we're back here on this big Monoco Camelot. We worked on this thing for several hours. Come to find out, we found where the problem on the electrical actually was. So I'm going to take you back in here, and I want to show you what it's all involved in this. Let me turn this around. So we started back here. We found out we had no 110 to the actual awning. So of course the pillar column had to come out. We've taken the bezel down on the TV. We've got all kinds of stuff loose. We finally found that the issue was in a wire nut in that box right there. The wire nut had actually come loose and caused a bunch of issues there, but we had to trace, you know, obviously a bunch of problems back here. See back here, the washing machine's out. We've got the box pulled apart down there. So a lot involved here trying to figure out what the world is going on with the wiring. Now you can see right here, that terminal's burnt. This is the power management for the air conditioner. So somebody's already been bypassing that. But just to find out where the problem was, and then we did find out we had a problem with the GFI. So we've got that done. So now that they've got the 110 working, we've got some 12-volt wiring problems in that slide. And now they're down here trying to figure out what's going on with that. So trying to get these lights, power on these lights. So Lewis and I are in here working on a big fifth wheel, and you can kind of see, let's just see how ginormous this thing is. I mean, this is a big fifth wheel, real high ceilings, Coleman air conditioner. Now the customer brought this in and stated that it's not keeping it cool, and it's pretty hot in here. We've been running now for 20 minutes. I want to turn you around. I want to show you how we've done this. Okay, so you can see right here on the thermostat says 89. And this vent up here in the bathroom, which you can see is quite a ways from here. We've got the probe up in there, and right now we are running 70 degrees. So basically a 19-degree split for this. Now, obviously the ducting goes up through the ceiling, and let's go in the bedroom right here, Mr. Lewis, because they do have a front air conditioner, and I could check it at this ducting, which I've got really good air coming out of there, and I probably could, but it's only 2 feet away, 3 feet away. So that's going to be hard to solve, because normally, like I say, if we have 15 degrees there, we're going to check the baffles, make sure all that's good, make sure the coils are clean, which we've already done that. If we had 10 degrees, then we're going to start looking at charge of the actual unit. But with us having 19-degree differential, and it's 95 outside, 89 in the camper, it's not much I can do because of how high. This is just a big camper. Well, good morning. Lewis and I have to head up about an hour and a half north of here. We've got another 2021 River Ranch with a basement air issue. So we're all loaded up, getting ready to head up that way. So we're gonna get up there now and go take a look at this one, see if we can get this under control, so you can tag along with us. So let's go. All right, so out here on another 2021 River Ranch. Got Lewis already climbed up inside there. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Same thing we showed you all the other times, but I want you to see it a little bit different. Alrighty, so again, foam board, did a little bit of insulating work right there, but obviously lots of daylight up there. So yeah, we're gonna tear all this out and do like we've done in the past. Go in here and get all this taped up. So take you over here and show you this other side. The screen, when we talked about this on the other videos, this screen is in here, so we've got to pull that screen out. That's got to come out of here. But a little insulation there, and then that insulation right there. Of course, we're going to wrap all this with the with that black padding that I have, and then we've got to pull this out and fix that. But yeah, we're going to get into this now. We've got the top of this taped up. Again, you've seen us do this before in other videos. We've got this baffle wrapped, everything's taped, and now I've got this lower loose. Now this is part of the instructions. This has got to have some screws put in it because air's actually coming out of there. So we'll put some screws in that, tape that up, put that panel back on. Well, this has got everything pretty well taped up in here. So we've still got the back baffle to do. We'll do that here in just a couple minutes. Okay, so got everything finished up. We're actually in the testing stage right now. So I've got the thermostat in there in the front, the furthest floor in the bedroom, and we can see we've got everything taped and good. So let's go inside and see what kind of temperatures we got. All right, well, good morning. So I was going to show you guys the differential temperatures on that River Ranch that Lewis and I were working on yesterday. She had a youngin' that was sleeping, and she had all the lights out, and I didn't want to disturb any of that. But so when we went in there and tested all that, we had 75 on the thermostat, and the furthest vent in the bedroom, I actually had 45 degrees coming through that furthest vent. So yeah, we had that one running real good. Now, the only other thing that we kind of had an issue with, and I've got to talk with the engineer at Forest River, that one was kind of doing the same as the one in Sevierville that I worked on, where when it shut off, the indoor fan was coming back on. But that one was only coming on for like a second, and then maybe 2 seconds, and then shutting off. So I got to have a conversation with that, but that's all in that one touch. We talked about all that. So anyways, well, it's Friday morning. I got to get some things finished up here, show you guys a little stuff, and then I got to get my video up, because I'm sure you're just standing there waiting to see that. So anyways, there's Mr. Wade right there getting everybody going this morning. But let's go check out a couple things, and then we're gonna roll on. I hope everybody has a good weekend. So let's go. So we got this big voltage toy hauler that came in here, and a lot of these toy haulers have got the Happy Jack bed system in the back. Now, this customer brought this in and stated that the Happy Jack bed was not going up and down. That could be a problem. So that chain has got to come up and over a roller, come up and over here on this roller, and then it's got to run down. And as you can see, that could be a problem. So I've got a phone call into Happy Jack. I'm not sure how we're going to fix any of that. They're probably going to want to replace. But I got to make a phone call on that. And then this slide here, of course, this is a three geared Schwintek system. And the gear rack is destroyed on it, so it's going to have a new gear rack on that. So, good times. So, one side of the business that you guys haven't really seen, and I haven't really shown anybody. I'm up here in the mobile service office, but that machine right there is actually designed to print t-shirts. So, we actually have a direct-to-garment t-shirt printing machine. Of course, you can see all my inventory. That's actually a pre-treater that pre-treats the dark colors, so that way when you print the white will print, because that's actually a 4-color machine. But that's a direct-to-garment printing machine. And then over here, I've got my big Roland decal printer, stickers. You know, we've seen pictures of us wrapping stuff and doing that. So, but yeah, that's kind of something I've not shown you guys on the videos, is the actual other side of the business that we do. But yeah, a lot of t-shirts, and we've got t-shirts coming out with Shelburne RV logos. We got some pretty interesting designs that are coming through, so I'll kind of show you guys those as we hit on those. But yeah, that's just something that you know, I haven't really shown you guys because we've been busy working on RVs. All right, so we got this bounder that we had to put a Amish cooling unit in, and we've had some issues with it not cooling correctly. The eyebrow, when we went in through the back of the eyebrow would say that it was reading about 33 degrees, but it was about 56 degrees inside the refrigerator. So ran it on gas all night just to verify we didn't have a problem with the voltage or the amp draw. And then I just happened to walk by this morning, and it's cooling good, by the way. It's down in the 33, I think, in the refrigerator. I heard the board clicking this morning. So I went and checked my voltage at the refrigerator, 6 volts. So I want to take you around here and show you something real quick. Let me turn this around. Okay, so got the look in here, and of course, this unit, 2 6-volt batteries, but no water. Same thing over here, water they're empty. And so we've obviously got some issues right there where the batteries, and we're going to load test these batteries just to make sure, but these are 2017 batteries. And so if this has been going on for a while, then we're going to probably have some issues with the batteries. So obviously we got a battery issue. Being 2017 and especially being 6 volt, I'm not a fan of 6 volt. I know I'll probably get some harsh comments about that. You know, a lot of people are going lithium. This gentleman right here is really as low cost as they come. So, you know, he's not going to want to update the lithium. He's not going to want to update the charger. That's got the original charger in there. So, you know, all we're going to do is I'm going to change him over with 224 12 volt, 24 series 12 volt batteries. And we're going to do away with the 6 volts. But yeah, we had some voltage issue going on that's causing a lot of the, with the refrigerator clicking in and out, low voltage. Probably comes back to why it's not cooling correctly. So we're going to update that and then retest all that and see what's going on. But yeah, I just soon do 12 volts and do that. Got this Montana fifth wheel that came in, and I want to take you inside and show you this. Let me flip this camera around. All right, so as you can see, low bridge. Got this one. So it's obviously got structural damage in here. Got all the fixturing. So working with the insurance company now to do that. But guys, check your height on your campers before you attempt to go under a bridge. All right, well, thanks for watching. That finishes us up here this week at Shelburne RV. Had a lot going on this week. Got a ton going on for next week. So thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for all the phone calls. I had a ton of phone calls this week from you guys on all the basement air stuff. So keep that up. I'm here to help. All you got to do is call me. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Y'all be safe out there, and remember that this video is Cousin Gary approved.